Shubor nakaslem jong unong san Hima.
Unong yalam ka Seng TMC hapo ka jala Megalia Dr. Mukul Sangma mata kasi khandai tarik ulaber arajar arpulai haba kran chikilat pathai khubor ulaong baki Seng baper kide banya so alang banchong ha Liang Pyrshah na ka benta ka jing mentoy jing gipad ba hapo ka jala u Dr. Mukul ulaong bakum ka Seng TMC INC VPP kidon na ki Jong ki Treikam Hynrei ka benta jong ki Seng ki badan ha Liang Pyrshah kade banya Ïatreilang khnang banyo ya ka jing Jong.
No, that depends on how the speaker determines, because there are certain rules which need to be referred to. At the same time, there has been precedents when, during our time, when the opposition was only 7, that time there was a notification to that effect, appointing a law. Remember, led Dr. Hynrei between 2013 and 18. So he was allowed. We notified him.
Now they have majority. In the past also you had raised a lot of issues and they apparently bulldozed. So do you have a fear that your issues, whatever you are going to raise again, it will be the same fate?
Let's see that and let's expect that good sense prevail. Because at the end of the day, as I have reasserted time and again, we must realize one thing, that we are all under constant scrutiny of the people whom we represent. And therefore, what is our purpose? Our purpose is to be in sync with that whole trust and confidence with which people have elected us and given us the mandate. Now, therefore, we must always remember that we remain glued to our commitment to see that we don't somehow engage in anything that will dilute the trust and confidence of the people that is vested upon us. Because then what happens? Then there will be ramification pertaining to people's trust and confidence in the system which we hold so dear to our heart in democracy. So sustainability of democracy is determined by people's trust and confidence in the system. Therefore, if democracy has to thrive and be vibrant, then we will have to live up to the expectations of the people. We must always remember the quantum and amount of trust and confidence that people have vested upon us while electing us as individual representatives and as politicians. In mine, I feel that good sense prevails amongst every one of us. The TMC, the INC, the VPP, we have our own respective identities as political partners. So there is no question of diluting that. And while saying so, the role of the opposition, as we synchronize and synergize our efforts collectively towards achieving our purpose, fulfilling our purpose, that is what I'm saying. And that will enable us to be effective as opposition, constructive as opposition, and deliver, what is expected through this whole exercise, collective exercise that we do. As I've said, we will always remain, we will always be reminded of the trust and confidence with which people have elected us and sent us with this mandate. And therefore, our role will be always guided by these conscience, the conscience which reminds us of our responsibility towards the larger good of the people and our responsibility towards protecting the interests of the state.
Well, don't you think that divided opposition is a weaker opposition?
Now, do you see a divided opposition?
DPP has said.
I don't think so. What do you mean by identity? Do you mean to say that the identity, trying to project the identity of every political party, is expected for every political party? How will it dilute? People have given mandate to different political parties. Now, how we synchronize and synergize our efforts collectively towards achieving the goal of serving the people for the larger interests of the people and protecting the state of the interest. That is what we are saying. So when you play football, you may be different player, but you are in the same team. So how you dribble and ultimately ensure that the team wins? That's how we will work. Yeah, we were supposed to meet therefore yesterday, but then since it was an impromptu, so we couldn't meet. But we already have met. That is, do the two partners, the TMC and INC, and we will do so. Just the beginning. Okay, have some patience.
A question specific to TMC. Can you tell us what went wrong? Because you came with much enthusiasm, and we are remained in Congress. Any time have you thought that I should have remained in Congress?
See, I think I will reply to your question, the first one. The second question I will not reply because I have replied this question too many times. There is no need of repetition. Now, let us be abundantly clear that today the manner in which the whole electoral battle has been fought and the resultant outcome of the electoral battle, meaning the mandate is definitely fractured. But if you look at the overall mandate and you do certain amount of analysis, you will easily see that okay, in particularly Khasi Hills region, the people have spoken loud and clear, and these whole mandate is reflective of what people want. You know? And as you see towards the eastern part, the Giant Hills region, you see different dynamics of politics which are played, and the resultant outcome or the mandate. Then in the western part, it's a matter of conscience. It's a matter of conscience. Now maybe they are insensitive to the overall perception of the people, but I'm personally very sensitive to the perception. How would you like to be known? How would you like to be remembered? Now, if they say that okay, there is a need to have a regime change because of reasons which they indicate, the reason being the issue of corruption. Issue of corruption. Now, issue of corruption, if they have been so rhetoric on issues of corruption, and suddenly they realizes that okay, they didn't have the numbers, so they compromise and surrender as well. It is not something which is expected by the people, nor even by political parties like us. Because with every political party lies there is a huge responsibility towards the larger good of the people and interests of the state. Now, doesn't BJP subscribe to the idea of walking the talk? Okay. And at the same time, doesn't they realize the huge amount of responsibility that they have being the political party who is governing this great nation? And also, BJP must be reminded of the fact that none other than the Honorable Prime Minister himself have promised to the people of this great nation, to all the citizens of this great nation, that come what may, there will be zero tolerance against corruption. So we live up to these promises. There's the trust and confidence towards achieving this, whatever has been promised. Therefore, there may be whatever reasons, but then that is not something which is consistent with what democracy is all about.